Welcome, everybody. My name is Jona Bryndis, energy healer, energy therapist, and coach. You all know me, otherwise you wouldn't be here. To this true self-talk, the life report, and opportunity to share after our remote energy healing session. I want to welcome Cheryl and Becky, who work the field with me. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to have you guys. Good to have all of you guys here. Right now, if you don't know how to activate your microphone, there's a little, it's kind of like Zoom calls too. It's no different. Yes, if this is your first energy session with us, I've mentioned this is the 10th year that I am doing this, and I must say that this was a very moving, probably one of the most moving sessions, true self, connect with your true self sessions that we've experienced here. I just posted as a closing remark to Becky and Cheryl, whom I'm connected with live, during the session, discussing the field, discussing the energies that are coming in, that it reminded me of all these true self sessions where I did this all by myself. And now with 80 people or so in this session, I wanted to send my humble thanks to all of you for coming and also for sharing this opportunity. The session went really, really deep, guys. This was a true emotional clearing session. I don't know if you felt this too, very intensely emotional. There was a lot stirred up in us, and from an energy healing standpoint, that's always a good thing, because it means that there's something that comes into expression that we are holding back. And one of the strongest emotional notions or sentiments that were felt had to do with grief, had to do with pain, had to do with, well, I want to say almost experiencing the pain of the world. Can you guys relate to this? Who wants to share? Who wants to share the things that you felt during this deeper, self-guided energy healing session? By the way, I took a brief protocol for all of you so you can inquire about your personal energies during the session, and obviously whatever comes forward in these sessions, during these sessions, doesn't just happen in the time of the session. It is something that comes forward for you as an inner guidance, and maybe you need a little bit of reconfirmation. Yeah, so don't hesitate to ask.
It's Cheryl.
Hi, Cheryl.
I'll explain what was happening while I was co-facilitating at the beginning. The emotions came in very strong right away. And as part of facilitating, sometimes you just keep a box of Kleenex beside. So there was tears. My chest was tight. It was hard to breathe. Mm-hmm. My mouth was dry. I was really thirsty, and then the tears turned into sobbing. And there was fear, lots of prayer, and I could feel the pain and the fear, and actually a sense of terror go through. So we know to just ride that out and let it come. Let the tears pour out as they may, and then they will subside once they're allowed. It seems if I rebel against the feelings, then they just get more compressed and stuck. So when I choose to let them out, they will they will stop, and then I can move forward into something else. And that's what happened here. So then compassion came in, and to allow all of the feelings has been a big lesson for me over the years, to just let it come, and the release that comes with it. And I felt that on and off throughout the whole session today. So thank you for this True Self session, Jona.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for your volunteer work. Yeah, holding the field, helping people to go a little deeper with themselves. It was very beautiful how you described this. How when we actually allow our emotions and feelings, those are not the same thing, to come forward without trying to resist them. Right? Nobody wants to feel quote unquote negative feelings. But when we actually allow them to come, we can connect with them and can allow them to go through us. We will then notice how they actually reside, how they just go through us, how we don't have to identify with them. And in times like this, where we are picking up on so many things in regards to, the future of the planet, the future of humanity, our own future, maybe the future of our job, the future of our health, the future of our children and grandchildren. Guys, it's important that we feel all this, because that is what makes us human. That is the big difference between us and some artificial intelligence or some programmed drone. All right, we're not that. We are capable not just to think our own thoughts, but also to feel our own feelings. And I love how you said this, Cheryl. Yeah, that it's about the trust, that when we allow ourselves to feel this, that it doesn't become more. It's the resistance. Becky, you said something about what we resist persists. Yeah, it's the resistance that we have. It's intuitive. We all do this, but it's actually counterproductive to trying to resist some feelings. Yeah, we only want pleasure. We only want the good feelings. But that's not human, guys. We don't
Jona, you said something really powerful. You said it's the love that cries. And that really opened up things for me to recognize that is where the tears come from, the connection and the love that I can feel. And they might not feel like love tears when they come, but that's the place they come from. So thank you for that.
This is really what this session brought in. It brought in the visuals, actually, by the way. I don't know if you guys had visuals, but the visuals of this session were like literally like front and center. It was like a huge arrow pointing at the heart, and it was coming in with this like enormous power. Like I had to find a picture somehow that puts this into some kind of image here for you. Pointing at our heart. If we filter out, if we sequester, if we censor our own feelings, we cannot learn through our feelings. We cannot learn what they mean. When we cry, not because of what is happening to us in this very moment, let's say, you cut your finger, or, you found out that you were betrayed or something like that. No, when you cry because you feel your heart. Do you guys know what I'm referring to, what Cheryl is referring to? When you cry because you can feel your heart. Let me know here in the chat. Just type in yes or something. Let's connect all, guys. We're all humans here. We all have feelings, and guess what? We all have the same feelings.
This is Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Hi. For facilitating this, it brought up a lot for me as well, as far as when I feel so much and I shut down my emotions and feel separate from others.
Yeah.
It just further blocks me from feeling my heart, and like you're talking about, being able to allow it to come up and go through.
It's like training. It's hard warrior training.
Yeah, it's like
to allow it to be there. You don't have to identify with it. But if you shut that off from yourself, if you withstand your feelings.
that was what was like eye-opening for me. What you mentioned in the chat was the difference between resisting and withstanding. And what I saw as withstanding and standing with.
Yes.
Standing with instead of resisting.
That was your inner guidance immediately translating this, Becky. Okay? Withstanding the fear of pain, the fear of heaviness, was the theme of this session. But not in the sense of resisting, but in the sense of standing with. Yeah? This is a very, very important kind of inner wisdom that can come forward in these energy sessions, where your own true self is talking to you and it's taking words. Maybe you hear snippets, maybe you see snippets of visuals, maybe you feel it in certain parts of your body. We mostly felt everything in this session here around the throat chakra, the heart, front and back, and also a little bit here around our third eye, our brow chakra. Fourth, fifth, and sixth chakra. All three of them deal with truth, with discerning truth, with being willing to stand in truth, being willing to embody it, and then to express it. We cannot express what we cannot feel, guys. And that's why this session also went into purpose and why we're here and what all this life is truly about. And if you've ever wondered, because many of you showed strong sort of looping, back and forth, not wanting to really show up for your life because you thought there was some kind of purpose that you were being delivered. You're being delivered here is your purpose. And you're waiting for it or you're seeking it. And that confuses you because in times like this, it doesn't work. The only way to actually feel why you're here is to fully connect within yourself. And as you do that, yes, you will connect with your pain. You will connect with your compassion. And it will also make it possible for you to feel the compassion for others. The reason why we have such a hard time with self-worth and feeling that we are not deserving, feeling that we're not belonging, is because we have not really taken ourselves on. We don't know how to stand with ourselves. This session was extremely powerful, guys. And that it taught us what standing with our true self really means. And what it can do for us. The strength that comes through that. If you just stay centered, breathe into your heart and allow all that needs to be revealed so that it can be healed, to be shown. It's the power of truth, this arrow pointing at our heart that I saw in this sort of more etheric way of conducting energy sessions. is pointing at it. It's not the arrow, like the heart with the arrow through that symbolizes heartache. It's not that. It's the arrow of truth that allows our heart to grow, to expand, and to stand and withstand all the things that are coming in from the outside, all the doubts, all the confusions, and also other people's pain. So you might ask, maybe as an energetically sensitive or even empathic person, how you can withstand all that. It's simple. By letting go of what binds you to pain. What binds you to pain? The fear of pain. Let go of it. We learn 2.5 times faster through pain than through pleasure. All right? In times where we experience elevated levels of pain, physical pain excluded here for a moment, is a time of accelerated learning, is a time of accelerated growth. That is, if we can stand with the pain. Physical pain can be an exception because the physical is the highest density level of our own self-experience, and it takes a long time for it to manifest, which means we can sometimes experience pain, physical pain, in a delayed way. Yeah, we can experience something that has built over years, over decades. Yeah, but if you've experienced the pain of abandonment or the pain of rejection or the pain of betrayal when you were young or when you were a kid, you might experience this as a physical pain in your heart or in your lower back or in your neck as a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old or older, you see. So learning how to feel into our pain, into our physical pain, to identify what it actually is that needs to be healed, that is something we still all need to train. Because in this sort of relatively unsophisticated way that many of us still live our lives, seen from a spiritual and energetic perspective, we basically respond like, lower beings to pain. We go, look, oh, no, we don't want that. And, seek pleasure, all right, as these two paradigms or, the two main directives of our ego. And that is not a very grown-up stance. That is more the stance of a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old. We only want the good stuff and we don't want the other stuff. Well, this doesn't make any sense. If you really tune into belonging and purpose, the things that make you feel strong, that make you feel supported, that make you feel loved, how do these things grow? How does trust develop? It has to build. It has to build through your willingness to show up. We don't form trust by trying to open ourselves up to other people once and then get disappointed and then close ourselves down for the rest of our lives. That is not a very sophisticated way of living our life. That's not really what we're here for. We're here for learning how to transmute our fear, our pain, into something like compassion, like forgiveness, like beauty through our expression, healing. If you contextualize your pain in that way and stop obsessing about why you didn't feel or see this earlier and why you were so bad in the past and that you are more bad than everybody else and that you are the biggest victim and that your life is the most painful. Yes, that you have to let go of, because it does exactly what Becky just said. It separates you from others. You're also not more special because you understand, some of the aspects that I'm referring to here. Just because you know something doesn't mean anything. It's all in your expression. It's all in your willingness to show up with your heart. Yeah. When somebody hurts you, it's okay to feel the pain, and it's okay to be angry. Okay? Because anger, too, is a very important emotion. It informs you that your boundaries have been overstepped. But to then be conscious and aware enough to say, oh my God, this person just really doesn't feel it. Some people can't feel anymore. They have been trying to belong to something outside of themselves, or trying to revenge their trauma, or trying to be somebody else for so long that this shutting down of feelings has made them cold, has made them become like a machine or an artificial intelligence, not a true self anymore. We refer to this false self. And so there are so many people out there, guys, who cannot feel anymore. This is where most of my training courses and everything really start, at that place. Learning how to feel again. But we need to feel compassion for that too. And if we can feel this within ourselves, many times have I caught myself going into this coldness within me that developed out of the trauma from the past. And to catch yourself in that very moment and to feel compassion, to feel love regardless. It is okay to cry for the world. It is okay to cry for yourself, but not because you feel like a victim, because you realize how you couldn't see this before, how you couldn't see that the connection that you long for and the purpose that you're seeking, that the way to actually find it is through your heart, through your sacred heart, through feeling. And these energy sessions, they can help us. That's why you can come as many times as you want to. It needs to be trained. Yeah, this isn't done with one session. This isn't an event. This is a process, guys. And by coming together like we do here right now, it's important for me that you share, guys. I do lectures every day. Yeah. I do daily energy prayers on YouTube. I do energy talks weekly, energy updates, workshops. Stop sitting there and just consuming all of it. Step up. Show that you can connect. Yes, Cheryl, thank you. That's a different Cheryl. I also felt the power and beauty of this session. Thank you for holding this space. Consuming is what disconnects us, guys. Do you understand the deeper meaning of that? Consuming gives us an illusion of specialness, or an illusion of having found something somewhere.
Jona, I'll add to the consuming. It's Cheryl again. I am a consumer of information, and I can see how off balance I get by just consuming, be it information come books, websites, speakers, whatever. It's just way too lopsided. And I recognize that in myself, and I constantly need to check for that. But what I know from working with you is a huge part of my growth came when I could get back past my own fear, my own specialness, whatever else was blocking me, and start giving back, like through energy of sharing, like sharing with you in our private coaching, to be able to exchange how I feel, like, and be honest about it. And then when we started more webinars and whatnot, the power of giving back what I've learned through it. And there is no perfect answer to anything. There is no I know anything. I just share my experiences, and that in itself is huge, because it's huge in my own growth, but it's huge adding to the community, because this isn't a taking place. This is a taking and giving and exchanging and sharing place. And that for myself has been huge in my growth. So I invite everybody to do an exchange in whatever way they can, and not being afraid to say what you feel, because that is not crooked information. It's okay to feel what we feel and to express it and to share it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is what creates, and this is also what makes these spaces here like this safe. How many other places do you have in your life where you can do this? Thank you, Shel. It is about mutual exchange.
That's Justine. I finally found a chair to sit on while walking the dog. So, thank you very much. I was outdoors.
Walking talk. I love that.
Yeah. Well, I started off on a branch, and then it became uncomfortable, and you know where. So, I finally found a chair. But what came to mind during the session, and I tried not to let my mind wander too much, and focus on my steps and the presence and beauty around me and all the beautiful dogs, and being friendly with everybody. That was just a lovely experience.
So what came to your heart, Justine, if I may correct you right here? It came to your heart. It didn't come to your mind. Yeah.
I feel it right now. I love this. I love coming here.
It's very difficult to foster anger, to harbor fear and pain in the presence of beautiful dogs, isn't it? Any dog, for that matter.
They're amazing, and you know what? So what? I get drool on my pants, and
of course.
So what? You know.
Mind. Yeah.
But what came to mind, and I do come here. I try because the dog loves it so much, and I work hard. So she's, I like to balance her life too. Is by getting her outside, not always indoors while I'm working, is how to plan when you're staying present, and that's sort of been the challenge of the here and now.
You mean plan?
PLAN.
You mean like the future? Plan the future?
Well,
is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's just been so
structuring. You're talking about structuring your day. What kind of planning are you talking about?
Well, coming here is the plan. No matter what, just make it here. Just get here. Like to plan some growth, and so being proactive versus reactive.
Right. This is really what we were talking about the entire time. How to do that. How to withstand, whether it's your own pain or fear or that coming in through the world. All right. And that's how you do this. By actually going within, by actually being present with yourself. The truth is, there is no such thing as one answer to what your future is going to be. There's many different futures, if you will. And, where it's going to go for you, the trajectory that you are set on for your life, that this whole world is on, all right? That has to do with our alignment. That has to do with what we choose to see, what we choose to belong to, what we choose to pay attention to, what we choose to consume, what we choose to be present with, and unbeknownst to many people, also what we choose to resist. The answer is pretty simple, and you can find that answer in your own heart. You live every day, every moment, as present as you can. And then you drift off, which is human, to drift off into thoughts, or to drift off into emotions, or to drift off into fantasies. Then it's your responsibility to pull yourself back. And yes, sometimes it's hard. Yes. Sometimes unexpected things happen. Yes, that is life. But if things keep happening over and over again, what does that indicate to us? We're either not paying attention, or we keep doing the same things over and over again, and we expect different results. This is not just in response to you, Justine. This is overall in regards to the passivity that we talked about earlier. Oh, it's difficult to plan. Oh, yeah, it's difficult to plan for me too, Justine.
No, I understand, but just to be very clear and complete, is it triggers inadequacies, like you could be doing better, when in fact I think we're all on the same playing field in different capacities.
Inadequacies. What is inadequacy? That this means you're not trusting in yourself, that you can handle it. How can you build that trust? How can you build more confidence and self-worth? By going through it and learning. Yeah. Not by saying, oh, I couldn't do anything. That just triggers you to constantly go into the past and say, oh my God, and I'm so bad. And, you know, I'm so bad came up for almost half the people here in this session. I'm so bad, guys, is what separates you from your heart and everybody else. What makes you think you are so bad? Why do you think you're worse than everybody else? Raise your hand if you think you're bad. Heck, we're all bad. But we're also good. It's a decision. It's a choice that we have to make in every single moment. And it's not about good and bad. That's a 3-year-old version of seeing the world. Good and bad. It's about, am I standing in my heart, in me? Am I connected with truth? Or am I trying to be something or somebody? See, am I seeing myself through the eyes of somebody else who may think that I'm bad? This whole discussion here about showing up for your true self. Your true self is not anything outside of you. Your true self is right in you. It's an inside job, guys. That's how you get through this. That's how you form confidence. That's how you gain trust in yourself. Not by doing the same things over and over again. Not by not wanting to step out of your comfort zone. Not by not wanting to change anything. And especially not by not wanting to feel. Yes, we all need to do this. This is what connects us all right now. Okay, this is what we're here. This is what we're talking about this. Thanks, Valerie, for sharing. Yes, there still is a lot to do. But first and foremost, we got to understand that this is part of our humanness. Do you think the tiger thinks about him or herself like, oh my God, I'm so bad. I'm a predator. I have to like hunt down and eat zebras. Oh my God, this makes me so bad. I'm so unworthy. Do you really think that? Why do tigers don't think that way? What do you think?
They're being a tiger.
They're not questioning who they are. They know that they are a creation. Okay? All they know, and all they need to know, is that they're a tiger, and that this is who they are, and that this is what their purpose is. Cheryl, you are unmuted from my end. You're gonna have to unmute yourself. Cheryl Shima, that is. All the tiger needs to know is that this is what he or she is supposed to do. And this is what you guys forgot. Not you in particular, it's all of us. What it means to be human. And how to become a good human. Not as in good and bad, but as in like the highest possible expression of being human. The highest possible expression of being human is feeling and thinking and willing. Yeah? Feeling can link us into our desires and into our, sort of lower self, if you will. Thinking can distract us from our body and from our feeling. It needs to be trained. This is our biggest task in these days here in the 21st century, to train our thinking, to not take off with it into the ivory tower. Because only if we understand the nature of our thinking, and our free thinking, that is, just like how we can understand the nature of free feeling, yeah, the right to feel. You have the right to think. Only then it will dawn onto you what willing means. Willing means consciously choosing. Consciously choosing who you want to show up as in this very moment. Cheryl, you've asked about your personal energies in the session. There is not much new that I can share with you here. Okay, yeah, I would love it if you could come on and share with me instead what you felt. But Cheryl, you were one of those who've been coming to the True Self sessions for years, which I truly, truly appreciate, and I know you really trust in these occasions. But there is that very same theme in your energy field with almost every True Self session. And that has to do with seeing yourself through the eyes of others and wanting to belong so badly that you basically betray your own true self. So this is the will, this is the choice. Yeah. Do you want to belong to your true self? Do you want to be true more, or do you want to belong to something outside of yourself more? Because when you're true to yourself, you begin to see how you're connected with everybody automatically through your thoughts, through your feelings, and through your choices. And those of us who recognize the responsibility in that, because responsibility was a big part of this year, and I've already worked with the October energies coming in because we have the energetic tune-up coming up on Saturday, guys. This is a big theme here for October. There's a lot of stuff going down in October, and we really need to know what it is that we need to step into for ourselves and what this purpose is. Yeah, what to stand with, where to find this belonging. You find the belonging through your own heart and through recognizing and taking on your humanness, and to be okay with it, and to let it go through you, and to transmute it into love, regardless of how bad you think you are. That is your flaw, that's your splinter in your reality. You're being told that you're flawed, that you're sinful, that you are not enough. That's your splinter. That's the illusion. There's no point in being angry at that, because this happened for a purpose. You need to decode the purpose. The purpose of you seeing through that and stepping into your power this comes with a lot of strength and a lot of courage, guys, and October will do this for us, with or without us. So I recommend everybody, and you can hear this in the sincerity of my tone, of all the publications that I am putting out right now, plenty of them. I'm a factory right now when it comes to truth. Okay, you will need that. You will need that courage. And no, you won't be able to plan. That's the smallest of your problems. You need to be present in the now. That is your problem that you need to pay attention to. In each and every situation, ask yourself which part of you is choosing right now. Yeah. And reprogram yourself in that way. You ask yourself, what would my love do right now? Can you love yourself regardless? Many of you, it expresses in the lack of self-love. It's a good start if you start there. Any closing remarks, any questions before I let you go? Does anybody want to add? Hi, Annette.
Yeah, I just want to say that I wonder, because I did not feel so many emotions. I felt much in the pressure in my heart, and also in my second. But I was trying to discern if it was mine or something was coming from the outside.
Okay.
And it mostly felt like it was not my own, because I nearly always feel the sadness and emotions, but I did not feel it today. But I have some words: stay in your center, allowing, and stay present in the now.
So you got the message. You got the message.
And stay tall with strength and courage. It was, I don't know, because you said so much about the feelings, and I nearly did not feel any emotions.
That's
and
okay.
now I'm thinking, if I'm withstanding and don't want to feel anything.
No. For you, Annette, in particular, and this is really important for anybody listening here, you said something extremely important. You said you were trying to feel into it, and you feel sadness quite a lot. And you have done the work. You have worked with your sadness. You know your sadness. You could feel the difference. This is what all this is about. You felt, you were not afraid. Yes, there are still aspects of you. You're a heart warrior. You work with me almost every day, Annette. Okay. So I want you to know that the pressure that you feel here in your heart center, that's still part of your own resistance. Okay? You can still feel this physically now, but the fact that you can locate it so clearly, but yet also feel into the feeling. You felt into the feeling. It's just not as emotional maybe as it is for me. Yeah. So it's you know the feeling is there, and you're allowing yourself to investigate the feeling, to allow it to be there. That is huge. Yeah. And look at the words that came to you. Maybe you're just more of an auditory person. Auditory meaning hearing messages. I mean, you said the exact same words that I said.
I heard them, and I was laughing a little, because it was it
was literally the same, right? Literally. Yes, the message was front and center, loud, so loud. Yeah, some of us will feel it more in their bones. Others will feel it more in and I said feel it more in their visuals. They'll see pictures, they'll see movie snippets maybe, or they'll hear music, or they hear words, or the words will just come to them. We all have a different way of perceiving it.
Yeah.
But what I hear you say, even though it may have not felt that emotional for you, Yeah, because
No.
this is something that you are personally still working on. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's still huge progress for you to even be able to sit with the emotion and look at it and say, wait, is that my sadness? Or is that the sadness of the world that I am feeling right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see how much courage that took for you to even allow that. That's the one I'm talking about.
I don't think I have felt it so much earlier. The discernment, if it was mine or it was not mine.
No, you couldn't feel it before because you resisted it altogether, right? You didn't want to feel it all together. This is how we built this discernment. This is how we built the trust. This is how we trained this. That's exactly how we trained this, Annette. Yeah. Whether you sit there and cry like me, you know, that may never be that way for you because this is just not your personality. Okay. No. All right. But it doesn't matter how these emotions show up for us. You could identify this emotion. You could identify it and you could allow it to be there. Yeah. Maybe the one thing that can help you here at this point is that you learn to name it more. Like, you know, there's a difference between a thought coming in and an emotion coming in. And, you know, in my energetic vision, I neither feel them as a thought or feel them as an emotion. I see them. First, I see them coming in.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, and this is a choice this is training. Then I ask myself to actually feel into it. And I say, well, let me look at this. Let me feel into this with my heart. Yeah. And in that moment, I completely cut off my thinking and my seeing. I just allow myself to feel. And it's very rudimentary, very primal.
Yeah.
I will feel elation, sometimes happiness. Okay. I will feel anger out of nowhere, or I will feel this desperation, grief, and sadness, like today. And the reason why this is okay for me is because I'm not afraid of whatever is there. Yeah. So I can allow my body to respond to it, knowing that it's not mine, that I don't have to identify with it. You see? So there is something about this training, yeah, that has to continue. Okay. Some people never really have to feel emotions in an emotional way, but it is part of your humanness. And as you can feel in the pressure here in your heart chakra, yeah, this pressure on your chest, yeah, there is something that wants to expand. So my tip for you would be, and anyone feeling similar restrictions, physical restrictions when trying to feel into something, is just to focus on your breath and to really focus on letting your rib cage and all that expand. The fastest way to do this is to actually expand your diaphragm. You guys all know where the diaphragm is, right? This is when you belly breathe, when you take a deep breath in and you let your belly like come out, you know, like as if you were pregnant. That is a muscle, that membrane. And the more you train that, okay, the more you train to relax it, okay, the more you will be able to stand in emotions. It is also a muscle that contracts it. It's our fear of pain, our fear of sadness muscle that we've trained. And so it immediately contracts when something wants to come in. So it's a continual growth. It's a continual expansion. Okay.
Thank you.
It's not a measure of performance or anything like that, Annette. Yeah. No. It's that we have to be very careful with comparing. Yeah. But understand that there is no limitation as to how the message, your inner guidance, is coming forward for you. Yeah. In my book, you got the message, Annette. And that's what matters. You understand? You got the message. It arrived with you. Now you have to follow these words: strength, standing tall. You have to, not have to, but learn to embody them in the moment, say, of stress. Yeah, in the moment when something comes in. Recall this message. Say, okay, let me just feel into it right now. Is this even mine? For anyone who's energetically sensitive, that ability to discern whether it's yours or not is already life-changing. This is, by the way, something that this new energy course that I've just published a few days ago is training. So for any one of you who really wants to learn this, this is the way to systematically build this. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Anita. And thank you for all of you for coming, for contributing, for sharing, for working this, for choosing to connect with your true self. You all help to raise the vibration for everybody else in that way, because we are all connected. Thank you. Special thanks to Becky and Cheryl for co-facilitating and holding the field with you guys. Drink lots of water now, maybe take a shower if you can. Yeah, lots of stuff came up. We're in between worlds right now, between a very strong full moon and the equinox. Huge energies are coming in, pivotal energies right now. Yeah, so take it easy today. If you're listening to this after the fact, yeah, give yourself some sacred space, some sacred time with yourself. Those of you who want to work this and decouple from the collective energy, you can sign up for the Karmic Collective Clearing on Thursday. That's where we actually work those collective energies and how to clear those ties. I've got to go now, guys. I love you. See you tomorrow morning at the Energy Prayer and Energy Talk. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.